The forest's silence was a predator's lullaby. Ristova wiped down her pulse rifle for the 10th time, the repetitive motion a small rebellion against the mounting tension. Anything, Tanaka? Tanaka's hands trembled as he adjusted the diagnostic interface. The grav-drive is inert, Captain. Structural integrity is nominal, but the core is completely unresponsive. I'm detecting unusual energy signatures, oscillating at a frequency I can identify. Unusual how? Ristova's voice is clipped professional, like nothing I'm familiar with. It's resonant, almost as if the forest itself is interfering. Ramirez, positioned at the shovel's viewport, spoke for the first time in hours. Life signs. Approaching. His tone was devoid of inflection. Ristova snapped her gaze to the viewport. Through the dense foliage, shifting shadows coalesced into humanoid forms. The keepers. Their skin shimmered with an oily iridescence, the limbs elongated and distorted. They moved with a disconcerting grace, gliding rather than walking. Maintain perimeter, Ristova ordered, her hand hovering near her sidearm. Ramirez, stand for weapon signatures. Negative, Ramirez responded. No discernible energy emissions. The keepers surrounded the shuttle, forming a silent, watchful circle. Their eyes, black and utterly blank, seemed to absorb the light. What do they want? Ristova muttered, more to herself than anyone else. Suddenly, Thorne convulsed, clutching his head, his face contorted in a silent scream. Thorne! Ristova barked, but he didn't respond. He's experiencing a neural anomaly, Tanaka stammered, his fingers flying across the diagnostic panel. His brain activity is fluctuating wildly, undetecting external influence. Thorne's struggles intensified. He stumbled towards the viewport, his eyes unfocused. Serve, he groaned, his voice strained. Knowledge waits. Join us. Serve the slumbering god. Await the ascension. Thorne, fight it! Ristova shouted, but her words seemed to have no effect. He continued to mutter the phrases, his body moving with a disturbing, puppet-like obedience. One of the keepers extended a long, slender hand towards Thorne. As the keeper's fingers brushed his forehead, Thorne's struggles ceased abruptly. His eyes cleared, and a faint, unsettling smile stretched across his lips. He's calm now, Tanaka whispered, his voice filled with dread. What did they do to him? Ristova demanded, her hand tightening on her pulse rifle. I don't know, Tanaka replied, but the neural activity is stabilized. It's as if the anomaly has been resolved. Thorne turned to Ristova, his eyes devoid of any recognizable emotion. The Spire awaits, he said, his voice echoing with an unfamiliar cadence. He began to walk towards the obsidian spire, which loomed over the clearing, pulsating with an eerie, internal light. The forest itself seemed to bend and sway around it, as if drawn to its power. Thorne, don't! Ristova yelled, but he didn't stop. She glanced at Ilara, the shuttle pilot. Get ready to move. We're leaving. Ilara's response was curt and efficient. The shuttle's engine sputtered to life, bathing the clearing in a brief, harsh light. Ristova watched as Thorne reached the base of the spire and began to ascend its smooth, obsidian surface. What are we waiting for? Thorne called down, his voice distorted by the spire's resonance. Join us. The ascension is near. Ristova hesitated for a moment, then barked, Ilara, initiate launch sequence. The shuttle lurched forward, tearing through the foliage. Ristova risked a final glance back at the spire, just as the forest swallowed it whole. The trees seemed to close in around the structure, concealing it from view. Then, everything went dark. Report. Ristova snapped, her voice sharp. I can explain it, Captain, Ilara stammered. The instruments, they are flying. Navigation is down. All external sensors are reporting nothing but static. What about the long-range comms? Ristova asked, her voice laced with urgency. Nothing. Total blackout. We've lost contact with Alpha 7. Ristova swore under her breath. The sudden loss of communication was deeply troubling. What about the grav-drive? Tanaka asked, his voice trembling. It's gone, Ilara replied. The instruments read 0. No trace of it. Impossible, Ristova said, refusing to accept the explanation. The grav-drive was fully functional just moments ago. Suddenly, the shuttle shuddered violently. All lights flickered and died, plunging the interior into darkness. Report! Ristova yelled again. We've been pulled into some sort of localized gravitational anomaly. Ilara responded, her voice strained. It's dragging us down, Captain. I didn't fight it. The shuttle began to spin uncontrollably, the walls pressing in on the occupants. Ristova braced herself for impact. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the spinning stopped. The shuttle hung suspended in the darkness, silent and motionless. Report, Ristova demanded, her voice tight with anxiety. I don't understand it, Captain, Ilara replied, her voice filled with confusion. We're somewhere, but I can't identify our location. The instruments are still offline, but I can see stars. Ristova peered through the viewport. Millions of stars blazed across the void, arranged in patterns she didn't recognize. This wasn't a familiar sector of space. This was somewhere else. Suddenly, a single, powerful signal pierced through the static on the comms panel. It was a distress call. "This is Alpha 7 requesting immediate assistance," a panicked voice crackled over the speakers. "We're receiving an emergency signal from grid sector Delta 9. The coordinates match the location of the Raven SS known position. We're dispatching a rescue team, but the signal abruptly cut out." Ristova exchanged a look with Ilara. The situation had gone from bad to catastrophic. "Prepare for redeployment," Ristova ordered. "We're going back to grid sector Delta 9. She looked out into the star-strewn void, a chilling sense of foreboding settling over her. They had just stumbled into something far larger and more dangerous than they could have ever imagined, and she knew, with a certainty that ran deeper than reason, that their journey had only just begun.